Some things in life you just can't account for. Try as you might, you can make plans. Ugh. One of the things I like least, there was a movie that came out a few years back, maybe probably like 10 years ago, and in the beginning this guy says, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And it's like, alright, you're supposed to be a mysterious, mystical foreigner man with an accent, and you're too attractive. I was probably just jealous, and that's probably really the reason I disliked it. But I think it's good to make plans to try to figure out what you're going to do with your life. And I know, because I've made plans and they've failed and blown up in my face, that sometimes it just doesn't work out. But it's interesting how no matter how hard you try, no matter how many factors you consider, sometimes things just don't go your way, and there are some things that you just can't figure out. This is MJ. I love Tokusatsu, and right now I want to talk about Kamen Rider Zero-One, Episode 9. This episode sees the continued assault of Metsubo Jinrai. They're using the Gigar to, they're using one of the Gigar mech to rampage, and it's hacking more and more medical Humagear and causing them to become Magir, and again, rampage, destroy, try to cause the deaths of many people. Spoilers, by the end of the episode, a news report announces that there were no casualties, despite their best or worst efforts. I don't know how you quantify it. Is that best or worst? I don't know. Their best efforts at being bad, I suppose. Anyway, what the thing that's most interesting to me is that, and by the way, Zero-One gets a mammoth, gets his own Gigar type thing that Hedon Technologies had been producing or had been working on as a rescue vehicle, which I really dig. Actually, I'll talk about this right now. So it basically looks like a Gundam. It's got the little Gundam antennae things, but Kamen Rider has those antennae things, so or antennae, which is pretty fun. But they have a big mech fight. It's not something I like to see frequently. I don't mind it in the context of the show. What do you think, though? Do you like the giant mecha? I mean, there's been giant mecha and giant CGI abominations that the writers have fought before in previous shows. I'm thinking of Suika. I'm thinking of the giant elk thing. The Suika is the watermelon mech from Gaim, and so is the rabbity or the elk one. Anyway, but I generally don't like those in Kamen Rider. I'll take my Super Sentai and my Super Sentai, thank you very much. But I really didn't mind it this time. I hope Ames disbands the Gigar system, and maybe they'll be used once or twice more, and he can use this thing once or twice more, but it being a normal thing that he uses does not appeal to me. I disliked very much in the beginning of Zeo that they relied heavily upon the use of these giant time machines. I just did not like them. They didn't do it for me. Again, if it were a different sci-fi show, that'd be great, but this is Kamen Rider, and it's a little too far afield for me. So anyway, that's all new stuff. And of course the hero saved the day, and Fuwa doesn't die. Which, if you got spoiled in that, you should have been watching the episode first before coming here. Anyway, what's new, though, or another thing that's new, is not something that's flashy or that can be seen. It's subtext, it's writing, it's some of the character work going on. We get to see Yaiba flustered, panicked, even she compliments Izu on how calm she's able to be, and she's like, man, you Humagear really are like unshakable. But I do think Izu was shaken by everything that was going on, and then Aruto kind of gives Yua a hard time, and he's like, hey, I didn't know that you could act like a human sometimes, which is, not kind, but it's, she's been very Vulcan. She's been very emotionless for the most part throughout the show, and I liked seeing her performance. I liked seeing her get to stretch and play uncertain and play, not in a good place. The actress, that is. And that was all really entertaining stuff. And then they really are discussing what it means to be human, or what it means for the Humagear to reach singularity. What will happen? Will their intentions be pure? Will they stay good? And I really like the tension. I felt like a lot of this episode was kind of somber, and like it dealt with that issue. It gave it the proper or appropriate gravity for the situation, but at the same time, there were still gags and it was still upbeat and punchy enough to keep a kid's interest, I think. So I like that they're kind of given a, I don't know. I like the approach because they're exploring serious stuff, but they're doing it in an interesting, entertaining way. And I think the drama and the tension was really good. It stayed very high throughout. And gosh, I don't know. It was just very effective. It was interesting to see. I don't know her name, but the red and dark gray themed Humagir, who is the assistant to the vice president. She also wears gloves. I find that very strange. Anyway, she and Izu got into it, and Izu wanted to err on letting the doctor or the medical Humagir stay operative so they could save people's lives, and the other one, the red Humagir assistant, was saying that she wanted to shut them down because if they were to go rogue, that they would kill so many people. Ultimately, the Izu and Aruto and all them ended up being right about the situation. But gosh, that was interesting. I find that I really enjoy the fact that Fuwa is tested. Like, he isn't. He's unconscious for most of this episode, but the few moments, he probably gets maybe 45 seconds, 60 seconds on screen where he's acting, or where he's awake and active in the story. And I really do enjoy what they did with him because he just has this look of confusion and, I don't want to say disdain, but like confusion and almost like wounded pride when he sees that the Onigoto, the doctor who saved him, was in fact a Humagir. And so, another cool new thing that I didn't really talk about is that the doctor and some other Humagir had been hit with the hacking tendrils or whatever, and they didn't succumb at first. Some of them did, but the doctor never went rogue, never turned into a Magir. He kept true to his programming, to his mission in life, and gosh, that was really neat. Also, when Fu was recovering, there's this really great shot of him at the hospital on the roof, looking out at Daybreak Town, and it's a beautiful shot. I like the arrangement of it, the colors that they used. It was this very muted brownie topia, what is that? Sepia, I think. Sorry, sepia tones. That just had a lot of richness and not vibrancy, but like a richness and like an emotionality to it, and I really appreciated that. So it's interesting to me that Izu has this connection to the Zaya satellite, which it looks like the Ark was a satellite that crashed down to Earth too, and I just wonder what the relationship is between Zaya and the Ark, and why the Ark would have this malefic will versus Zaya, which seems to be altruistic. I don't know. I hope that's something that's going to be explored later on, but I mean, we'll have to just wait and see, kind of. So we got a cool double henshin shot of Hirobi and Jin. And I really like, people are calling these guys the Force-Rise Riders, which makes sense, but you don't call the other guys the Authorized Riders, right? Come on, guys. What are we doing, Toku fam? Anyway, I thought seeing them henshin together was really cool. It's a little bit of a mess to see together, but gosh, I like it. It reminds me of Guyver's transformation, how the bubble would pop up around him, or them, the Guyvers, and cause destruction to the surrounding area. Of course, they're not going to do that here. Animations, it's a lot easier, but still very cool. I like it a lot. And then Hirobi got to fight with Zero-One one-on-one, with Aruto one-on-one, and that was a cool little fight. It's nice that Aruto gets to get defeated, and then he runs off and is licking his wounds while dealing with this dilemma of having his faith in the Humagir shaken for a while. And I think it's just last episode I was wondering if he would ever be shaken, and I'm happy to see that he was, and I like how he dealt with it. Like I said, I'm enjoying the nuanced approach that the show is taking to everything. The only thing I didn't like about that fight was that Hirobi was using his, it was like Green Arrow on the CW show, using his bow or whatever as like a sword. And I thought, man, this guy's got a katana. Why does he should have like a katana weapon. It's too bad he doesn't just use the katana while he's transformed. That'd be cool. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. I really like this episode. I like where the show's going, and I'll be interested to see what happens next. Anyway, check out mjmunoz.com for more of my work. I'm currently reviewing Spider-Man comics and writing original fiction you can find there. I'm an aspiring author who will gladly accept your financial support through coffee. Or you can buy merch from my Redbubble store. I'm working on some writer stuff that's going to go up there soon. MJ Loves Doku can be found on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Amazon. No, and Amazon. And someday, and mtmunoz.com/MJLT, where you can find links to my Ultraman show, Going Ultra, and my comics review channel, Swing Through Comics. Relevant links are in the show notes. If you had a good time, like and share this. Subscribe and ring that bell to keep up with me through my weekly coverage of Zero-One. And remember, you don't have to shout henshin to be a hero.